Welcome to Sewing with QueenMomMe. Today we're going to be making leggings, or more specifically jeggings, for Princess, the American Girl doll. I'm using a pattern by ArtsyFartsyMama. You can find her at ArtsyFartsyMama.com. I found her through Pinterest, and I love her idea for reusing worn out leggings and jeans that we already have. And I asked if it would be okay if I tried out this pattern on camera, and she agreed that I could do that. So here we go. I downloaded and printed this pattern from her website, from ArtsyFartsyMama, and we're just gonna cut it out. All right, cut out the pattern. I've got my pen, got some elastic, which I found in a box. I've been using cord elastic to make those masks. It's pretty exciting. I found this tiny little roll of elastic. And I am going to reuse these jeans. These were some of my favorite jeans. Love them. Stretchy, wonderful, but middle-aged mothers really shouldn't walk around with holes in their rear ends. All right, I have checked, and I'm gonna line this up along the edge. I've checked, and I can get both sides out of this one bit of leg. I'm gonna take advantage of the bottom, and I'm gonna take advantage of this outside line, make it look a little more like real jeans. Princess, the American Girl doll, is gonna be styling. Because it's jeans and they're a little thicker than knit leggings, I am going to, instead of pinning this to there, I am going to use the pen and make a line. I'm going to draw it on. Generally, pinning it in place would be the right thing to do, but in this case, and since these pants are done for anyway, sadly, isn't that sad when your favorite pair of jeans goes? Rough. All right, like that, and then I'm gonna flip it over and line it up against this very edge right here, just like that. There we go. Make the other side. Go along. I was excited that ArtsyFartsyMama agreed to let QueenMomMe make one of her patterns. I'm a big fan. Here we go. It's nice to work together. We're all in this together, aren't we? Okay. Close that up. And then, here we go, cutting. I'm nervous. I think it's gonna happen okay though. Get it up here. It's a little hard to cut into jeans. There we go. But these are not, these have quite a bit of stretch in them, which is what made them so comfortable. So, and what is going to make them easy to make into doll clothes, honestly. There we go. One. Make it easier if I just trim that off. Try to keep it flat so that it doesn't move around on you. That is the benefit of pinning, so that it doesn't slide around. don't know if I've said it enough here. Pinning takes a long time. And it doesn't take that long. Longer than I have patience for. There we go. Okay. Now we have our two legs. Look at that. It's awesome. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to lay one on top of the other, right sides together. There we go. Make sure they're all aligned. Make sure that's there. And then we're going to pin them together. I'm going to grab my box of pins. There we go. Let's get this pinned up. I don't usually pin too much, but because it is stretchy and because I really want to do a really good job, since ArtsyFartsyMama has entrusted me with her pattern here. There we go. Just gonna pin it out. It'll make it easier to sew as well. You gotta look out for this stretchy stuff. I avoided stretchy material for the first 10-15 years of my sewing. Only use stretchy material when absolutely necessary. But with two kids interested in figure skating, I decided to try my hand at make those match up. There we go. Decided to try my hand at making costumes for them, especially while they're young and they don't need some sort of designer anything. We don't need a Nancy Kerrigan, Vera Wang just yet. So, and it's actually been a lot of fun. I found a new stitch after 20 years with my sewing machine. I found a new stitch that I didn't know I had that makes sewing stretchy fabric of all kinds so much easier. Who knew? All right, so we got that pinned. So we're gonna sew along here, and yeah. All right, so I just sewed a simple straight stitch down here, making sure to do a locking stitch here. We're gonna take out the pins. For whatever reason, I feel like I have every color of thread. I do not have that jeans sort of yellow, that color. So I'm just using a dark blue that I happen to have already. You can honestly use whatever. A white might be kind of a fun contrast stitch. We're going to open them up like this. Open them up and line up that middle stitch. And look at that. They are starting to look like honest to goodness pants. All right. I think we better get this pinned around here. So do that. Make sure we get this. Absolutely adore the idea of reusing materials like this. I think it's just fantastic. Not having to buy new, stretched denim to make a doll's pair of pants. Just makes sense. brilliant. Actually, part of what I really love about making doll clothes is using up or doll accessories, is using up the extra stuff. All right, so again, I just did a straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam all the way around, reinforced the crotch area there, and we're going to take those pins out. Next, we need a waistband. The instructions say to fold down about 1/4 inch and then another 1/2 inch to a whole inch. You probably need a whole inch there to make sure that the elastic goes through. So let's get our doesn't have to be exact, but it also doesn't have to be too haphazard. And we're going to pin that down. There we go. And we'll just go all the way around here, doing that same thing. All right, so here we go. Okay, I got that. We're gonna try it on the doll. Okay, I'm glad I tried them on Princess. Princess has a little more junk in the trunk than the doll for which this pattern was made. She probably gets it from my side. So no problem. I just scooted this up just a little bit. So instead of 1 inch, it's now at about 3/4, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when we're just talking about a little doll, it's enough. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sew around the edge, and we'll be right back. All right, I have a stretch stitch on my machine, so I had to find it in the manual, not for this project, for some ice skating clothes, but I'm sure that a straight stitch would do just fine. I tried to keep it really close to the edge. Okay, so there'll be plenty of room for the elastic. I'm going to use the safety pin, stick in there, here, works better for me. Do a couple. There we go. And we're just gonna guide it in there, just like that. Just like that. Okay, now in the seam it'll be a little more challenging. There we go, not at all. Look at that. This is working great. I shouldn't have said anything. There we go. All the way around. Now remember, as you pull, you don't want to pull the other end all the way through. the pattern says to cut a 10.5 to 10 3/4 inch, but it also says to measure your doll's waist. And I am really glad I did, just like trying the pants on before. I ended up cutting a 12-inch piece of elastic because we needed a little bit. I like to overlap the elastic by, you know, an inch or so. My elastic is rolling up in there. I think I can, well, we'll figure that out later. Anyway, I'm really glad that I did measure Princess. Her waist is more of an 11. And then I still end up with an inch to overlap and sew together. You wouldn't need a whole inch, especially in these days when elastic is sort of at a premium. Almost there. Try to keep it in the frame here. I work elastic through when I'm making, they're called soakers or soft guards for the ice skate blades. Something the ice skates wear when they're in the bag and not being used to keep the blades sharp and dry. Okay, there we go. All right, look at that. And then I'm gonna undo this and pin it together because I'm gonna go through and try to unroll some of it if I can. So I got it twisted here somehow. I don't know how. Maybe it'll become obvious. There it is. There's the roll. Okay. I'm going to try to put it back without that. Oh. Alright, I'm going to mess with this a minute. There we go. I do it. Okay, got that taken care of. My type A personality is happy now. And we're going to pin this. Pull the elastic out as far as it can and pin it up. There we go. Like I said, I got about an inch. I think it was an inch. Got about an inch that way. There we go. All right. I'm gonna pin. Maybe twice. Okay. All right. And let's all actually go to the sewing machine together this time. All right. The instructions say to hand sew the elastic, but I don't like hand sewing. I'm capable, but excuse me, but it's not my thing. So I am gonna do it this way. So I'm gonna sew it using the sewing machine, and it's a little bit of a tight fit. I'm gonna put it on a zigzag stitch. I'm gonna put it down. Doesn't have to be pretty. Just has to hold. So here we go. I'm gonna get it in place and then get that pin out of there. Maybe. There we go. I'm gonna go back. Okay. knot in there. And that should absolutely do it. Yeah, look at that. Not pretty, but it's gonna hold. And we're gonna trim this up. There we go. Now, we'll pull this back in. There. There it goes. Oh yeah, I spent all that time getting it uncurled, and now I've curled it back up. There we go. Just have to ask it nicely. Just have to ask it nicely. There we go. Let's trim up some of this from the jeans. There we go. Alright. And now all that's left is to just stitch that closed right across there. Again, I have a stretch stitch, and I will show you what it looks like. We're going to try to just make it look like it's just right in there, like part of the rest of it. There we go. I'm going to place the needle, put the foot down. And this particular stitch starts with a locking stitch, so we don't have to do anything special. There we go. Okay, and I'm gonna finish with another locking stitch, and that's it. Trim. I think for jeans, could maybe add some decorative to it, but otherwise, I think we've got it. Let's turn the inside out if we can. There we go. There. And then we've got and there's a pair of jeans. Look at that. Alright. Try them on. We'll take some pictures. Thank you so much for sewing with QueenMomMe, and I'd like to special thanks to ArtsyFartsyMama for this amazing pattern. It's really awesome. Alright. Keep sewing.